is available in the pre-scene. So trust me, the first step of KYP, know your pre-scene, will be very interesting. A PowerPoint presentation that we are trying to go through to understand the case study, because you got to know the case study very well to pass the exam, because on the exam day, the questions will be based on this pre-scene campaign. Questions will be based on this pre-scene campaign. Therefore, you got to know the pre-scene fairly well. So that's the first step. But you can't get to know the company well unless you know the industry. I mean, you can't learn about a tire manufacturing company well enough unless you know about the tire manufacturing industry. So that is why we have KYI, know your industry. That is why we have KYI, know your industry. So likewise, there's a 10 steps in the journey. Mark will take you through further details, but we are starting with KYP and KYI. We are starting with KYP and KYI. We will give you about 6 marks to be done on the exam engine, which is very similar to your exam day practice. Exam day, you need to do the exams online. All the SEMA exams are now online. We are very proud to say that all SEMA exams are now online exams. So you have an online portal to do the exam paper. So you don't get any handwritten papers. The questions will come in as emails from your boss, like you are working for this company. You need to reply to the email. Your reply to the email is going to be your answer. So it's an online exam. We at Nanaska have a very similar exam engine for you to practice yourself. We at Nanaska has a very similar exam engine for you to practice yourself. I want you to do that. I mean, as SEMA, we are proud to say that, because real world is online and SEMA is online. I'm part of SEMA Global Council in UK. I'm part of SEMA Global Council in UK. So I do get involved with the discussions on UK, and I'm happy to share that we have kind of tried to be as much as real compared to the real world that you are facing. I work as a CEO for Dankutu Porcelain PLC, a public listed company. I will share my experience mostly for MCS and SCS, less for OCS, because OCS is mostly towards the theory part of it, but MCS and SCS are away from theory, very practical questions. OCS is still towards the theory part of it. Look at the last time and the one before OCS, not the last time because results are yet to issue, the one before. There were many people who got about 80%, about 3-4 people had the same mark, about 80%. They were absolutely happy about it. You can read some testimonials by next week as well. But we will guarantee you your success. I am there. Mr. Mark is there. I am there whenever you want to clarify anything. You can come and talk to us. You can either we can meet at Nanaska, or you can send a message. Maybe real things related to OCS, maybe anything else that you need our help, we'll be able to sort out for you. At Nanaska, we believe that it is not only just teaching, so we will give you the real world experience for you to be a CEO one fine day. That's our idea. It is not just, we will not push anyone to just memorize and pass the paper, because that will be a shortcut. That's not going to run well. I work as a CEO, I do the recruitment, so I want you all to be a CEO. I'll share my experience in the SEMA journey, how I started and how I think you should continue about it. Because for you to teach the case study, you got to be working somewhere as the head of the organization, where the case studies are absolute practical situations. So I'll come in with that experience and share my experience. However, Mr. Mark will take the full story with you. I'm there to help you whenever you need. And of course, at Nanaska, we'll try to help you to get the jobs. That's why we have Nanaska Connect. We have Nanaska Connect, that is to connect you to the jobs that are available in the market. We have a program called Your Life is Your Life, that is about how to live a happy life. All those will come in. So let's start the journey slowly, all right? Every week there'll be follow-up from our side. There'll be follow-up. There's a week that for us to ensure that you guys, if you fail, we fail. So we want to ensure you pass. If you fail, we fail. So we'll do whatever that is needed to ensure that you pass. However, we need commitment from your side as well. I know all of you guys are working professionals, so we'll push you hard, right? If you don't like so many reminders coming in, you can tell us, we can switch off. But otherwise, we'll have a team who is following up you individually. When the mocks are marked, we'll have an individual feedback session with you, so you can pass, right? So all those work is done from our side. You can contact me at any time. My mobile number is available here. I hope you can see my mobile number. I'm available on WhatsApp. Send me a WhatsApp message at any time. Whatever the help that you need, we are here to provide that help and ensure you pass the exam. So this is just to get to know you guys. How many of you all are from FLP? If you are from FLP, can you say FLP, FLP, FLP? How many of you guys are from FLP? Sampath Vitaranandi. Okay, very familiar name. Chaturi, Zaid Zamir, Amila, okay, 4 FLP. So don't worry. Now, FLP guys, this is the easier path available. OCS, MCS, SCS. Now, okay. So don't worry. You will, at the beginning of it, you might not have the full hang of it, but very soon we'll sort it out. There are self-assessment to be done. They're not exams. So don't kill your time. If you get stuck with any of the self-assessment, we are there to help you. Let us know. We will find a way to help you. So we have our admin team. We have Marsha, Ovin is there to help you. Marsha is there to help you. I'm sure we can give their contacts as well. When you join the course, we'll create a WhatsApp group where Ovin will be there, Marsha will be there. They'll help you in administration wise. I'll help you on the technical side with Mr. Mark available. So I just want to see you guys, say hi to you guys. We have we have many FLP students. We are happy with it, and that's all. So let Mark take over, and you have my mobile number to contact me at any time you want. Anyone who wants to ask anything? Nothing. Mark, why don't you start, Mark? I'll be around.
Right. So, a very good evening to all of you. So, hope I am visible and audible.
Mark, I can't hear you. Can you all hear Mark? Can you all hear Mark?
Am I visible and
you
audible?
all can hear.
Okay.
So how comes I can't hear? Mark, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Yes.
What the hell is that? Okay. Anyway, let me shut down. So then maybe let me shut down. Let me shut down.
Right. Okay. So, once again, a very good evening, guys. So, a warm welcome to Nanaska's OCS program. So, myself, along with Mr. Chanda, will be taking you guys through this whole session. Right. Through this whole session, we'll be doing it will be a collaborative approach where we work together with you guys. As Chanda sir correctly mentioned, the objective is to make you pass. If you fail, we fail, right? So just a quick reminder on that. So today, the objective is not to teach you guys. Our objective is not to discuss any case study related aspects, because we haven't officially got the student version of the pre-scene, which will be available on next Friday. So you all will be getting the pre-scene of the OCS on 23rd September. So watch out for the space, right? We will share it with you on the respective social media groups that you are with us. So don't worry about that. We will share the student version of the pre-scene as well. Right. So today, let me talk a little bit about this OCS program, how it is structured, what is our approach, and what the commitment or the support or the tasks that need to be completed from your end. Right. It's a very simple. It's going to be a very simple discussion. Right. So let me first take you through our ground rules. Right. I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Is my screen visible to all of you? Can I get a quick confirmation? Good. Right. So now, based on the new syllabus put forward by SEMA, you guys have a very structured approach for the case study examinations. So as you could see here, you have 3 case study examinations at each and every level, right? You have 3 case study examinations at each and every level. So where are we? We are here, right? We are here at the operational case study exam. So for the operational case study, for you to do the operational case study exam, you need to be familiar with these 3 subjects: F1, P1, and E1. Now, those who are coming from FLP, don't worry. We have a special theory refresher session for all 3 subjects. So there we are going to cover, based on the past experience, based on the past examinations, what are the key theory areas. We will take up all those theory areas and take it up for discussion. So don't worry, if you are not familiar or if you have done your OTQs long time back, don't take it as a problem, don't take it as a concern. We will be guiding you through a theory refresher process. We'll be guiding you through a theory refresher process. But I believe it would be ideal if you guys start revising, start refreshing these theories now. Start revising, start refreshing these theories now, so that you guys can clear the right. I'm sorry guys, there was a small power interruption. I hope I'm visible and audible now. Am I visible and audible now? Can I have a confirmation on the chat box? Am I visible and audible? no interruption, so I had to switch. Right. I hope I'm audible and visible now. Great. So sorry for that. So basically, what I was highlighting was on the importance of the three subjects, right? The three OTQ subjects, E1, P1, and F1, right? E1, P1, and F1. So I would suggest you start revising these three subjects now itself, right? I suggest you start revising these three subjects now itself, because you see, if I move a little bit away from what we were discussing, and if I give you some insights onto OCS, onto the operational case study, right? If we take the theory and the application part of it, right? If you take the theory and the application part of it, right? If I do a small table, right? For OCS, let me put it this way. For MCS, let me put it this way. For SCS, let me put it this way. Right? So this is your theory. This is your theory. Right? For OCS. Theory for MCS. Theory for SCS. Right? Then this is your application part. Right? This is your application part. So what do you see? The proportion of theory tested as you go along the case study, right? Theory will come down, but application will go up. So now where are we? We are here. So if I give you maybe a rating sort of a thing, let me put it as 65 and 35. Let me put it this way, or even 70-30 is fine, right? So somewhere there will be a theory to practical aspect ratio, theory to application ratio in OCS. So this is one very important thing which you have to remember, because for OCS there will be a considerable amount of theory tested. So where is this theory coming from? Where is this theory coming from? Your E1, F1, and P1. Now, if I further segregate this, right? If I further segregate this and weight these three subjects and do a weighting for these three subjects, I would say 60% of it would be from P1, right? Then the others will have a more or less a equal balance, right? More or less a equal balance. So 60% of your theory, 50 to 60% easily will be from your P1. So now you know where you have to pay more attention on. Now you know where you have to pay more attention on. So theory as a whole is critical. You get 70 to 30 ratio, 70% on theory. If I go inside that theory and I break it down into the three subjects, E1, F1, and P1, you can see that P1 takes a higher percentage. P1 takes a higher percentage. So you have to remember this breakup always. You have to remember this breakup always. F1, basically, if you know the relevant accounting standards which are there in the F1 syllabus, that is fine. E1, more or less, E1, even though it's theory 20%, for application, you will have to use more of E1. For application purposes, you will have to use a lot of E1, right? So therefore, you need to understand the composition of your theory. The composition of your theory, right? So to address this concern, where there is a lot of theory tested in the exam, our approach is we give you 8 marks. We give you 8 marks. In addition to this, we give you a F1 mark, which is the financial mark, covers all the aspects of F1. So the 8 marks will have all three, E1, P1, F1 applications. It will have all types of questions in it, right? And you have a separate F1 mock and a separate power mock which will be a summarized version of your theory, right? So that will be a summary of E1, F1, P1, which has been sort of a tailor customized to the case study context, right? This will be customized to the case study context. So this is our approach in terms of addressing this problem. Now this is where many people find it difficult to, right? You don't know you don't know the expectation. So in as part of the expectation, it's that you be very conversed with the theory E1, F1, P1, right? So that's why I said have a plan from day one, right? Take today as day one, right? So anyone knows when is your exam? When is the November window exam? Yes, when do you have the November exams? Right. So if I do a timeline for OCS, right? Your exams will be 9th to 11th of November. 9th to 11th of November. So how many weeks do you have? How many weeks do you have? Can someone do a quick count? So start from next Monday, that is 19th. So 18th Sunday. How many weeks? How many weeks? Yes. Do you have somewhere around 9 weeks? 8.5 to 9 weeks? Right? Is it 7, Sampath? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost you have 8.5 weeks. 8.5, let's take it as 9 weeks. So you have 9 weeks for the exam from today. 9 weeks for the exam from today. So during these 9 weeks, I'll tell you what we have to do. So the first 2 to 3 weeks, we will be doing a thorough pre-scene analysis. We don't know what your pre-scene is, right? We have, based on the insights, it's going to be interesting industry, right? We don't know what it is still. So your pre-scene analysis, we will conduct it for about 2 weeks, right? Which will be covered basically from the KYP, and we have a document called Deep Dive, where we dive deep into the pre-scene and analyze, okay, from this paragraph, what are the possible theory areas related to, what could be the issues brought out by the examiner. So those things I'm discussing in the pre-scene analysis. So therefore, deep dive is a document written for you to refer. Basically, the pre-scene analysis put into words is your deep dive. Then we do a industry analysis. Which will take about a week. We use the KYI or Know Your Industry document. KYI or the Know Your Industry document. Right? Out of all these, the most critical are your mocks. Mocks 1 to 8. Right? So mocks 1 to 8 is where you practice. So mock 1, we will do it together. I will tell you, okay, how you approach a mock. What should be your answering format? Right? What should be the context of your answer? How long? How much? What should be the level of content? The quantity of the content you have to write to address the specific question. So we will discuss mock 1 deeply. Mock 2 onwards, you will have to take the baton into your hands. Right? It's going to be a continuous improvement exercise. What do we call? A continuous improvement exercise. Now, what do I mean by a continuous improvement exercise? Mock 2, you will get 40 marks. Mock 3, you can't get anything less than 40. It has to be 45 or 50. Mock 4, 55. Mock 5, 65. Mock 6, 70. Mock 7, 80. Mock 8, likewise, I need to see a continuous improvement from you guys. I know there could be, your curve will not be upward sloping, right? But I want that to happen, but there will be peaks and troughs. That's fine. As long as you learn. So mocks 1 to 8 are critical. Out of 1 to 8, you will be attempting mock 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you will be attempting 7 mocks. You will be attempting 7 mocks. We will mark all those mocks and give you the feedback. And for about 4 to 5 mocks, we will have a personalized one-to-one session. Right, out of these 7 mocks we will select, okay, 4 to 5 mocks. For those 4 to 5 mocks, we will have a one-to-one session. So what is a one-to-one session? You will be assigned a particular member from our group who is in the academic group, and he or she will attend to your mock paper. They will discuss the mistakes you have made, how you could further improve your answer, what changes are needed in your answering structure, right? What changes are needed to make your content more precise, more clear, more brief to the examiner, right? Likewise, they will address a lot of issues. So they are from there. I mean, there you'll have to improve mock by mock. So that's why I initially said continuous improvement is very critical. And also, out of all the documents, these 8 mocks is going to define whether you pass or fail. Trust me, it's going to define whether you pass or fail. Right? It's going to define whether you pass or fail. So anyone attempting the exam without attempting the mocks, I can't guarantee you pass. I mean, it's difficult to say, right? It's very difficult to say. Without any practice, you going and sitting for the exam, you know the outcome. It's inevitable. But if you practice these 8 mocks, right, and you build that confidence, you build that, look here, can do attitude, right, knowing exactly what needs to be addressed, how you need to write an answer, things like that, and you go for the exam, trust me, it's going to be a P. It's going to be a P. Right? That has been the result so far, right? That has been the result so far, right? So mocks 1 to 8 are going to be critical. Then we have, as I told you, the F1 mock and the financial mock. Sorry, and the power mock. So F1 mock will only focus on F1 areas. Power mock will have a summary of all 3 areas, E1, F1, P1. E1, F1, P1. Right? So these are the main documents. Right? These are the main documents we use. In addition to that, towards the, maybe we have 9 weeks, maybe by the 8th week, we will do a discussion called possible issues. We will do a discussion called possible issues by the 8th week or so. Right? By the 8th week or so. Right. So this is going to be this is a quick snapshot on what our course is going to cover. This is a quick snapshot on what our course is going to cover, right? A pre-scene analysis, an industry analysis, 8 mocks. Altogether, we'll have 10 mocks with the financial mock and the power mock. Then the possible issues, right? So these are going to be critical documents that is going to define your success. That is going to define your success. 3, 4, and 5, right? I mean, 1 and 2, it's a must. Without knowing the pre-scene, you can answer, right? Without knowing the pre-scene, you can't answer. So 1 and 2 are a must for you to understand the pre-scene, relate whatever the real business scenarios you see in similar industries. Right? That's when you add more value to your answer. So what I always say is, industry analysis is not something for you to study. No, it's not something for you to study. It's something for you to refer, right? Something for you to refer, get an understanding about the industry, get an understanding about the real world companies that could be related to our case study. Let's say if we are a bed manufacturer, our KYI include all about bed industry. It will have a real world company that is similar to the company given in the pre-scene. So then you can go to that company's website, download their app, right? Do some transactions, dummy transactions, see how their user interface is. So you get a question. Okay, how can we further improve the user interface of our bed company's website? You know how to answer it. In the industry analysis, we gave you real world companies. You would have gone to their websites, you would have gone to their social media sites, you would have gone to their e-commerce platform, you would have seen the customer journey. You have a hands-on experience of the industry of that particular real world company. That's when you could apply the same knowledge into the case study. So that is the importance. So I believe more than the KYP, true, KYP is important for you to get an understanding about the company, right? That pretty much summarizes your entire 20 to 25 page pre-scene. But if you do these two in conjunction, it's going to complement each other. It's going to complement each other. So KYI is going to be a very interesting, practical, right, document that is going to give you a lot of practical insights. That is going to give you a lot of practical insights. I mean, you might be a full-time student, you might be working, right? So the exposure you guys have would be different from one to another. But here we are discussing about one topic, one industry, one company. So I want everybody's thinking to align with whatever there is in the industry. So that is where KYI comes into play and helps you out, right? Helps you out to address whatever the problems you have, to come up with real world business solutions to problems that are being faced. To problems that are being faced. So this is a quick snapshot of what our OCS course is going to be like. Of what our OCS course is going to be like. So it's going to be a very interactive discussion, especially our pre-scene analysis. I might miss on certain areas, say, look here, this might come for the exam, but you might take it in a different angle. You might see it differently. You might see a issue which I didn't see. That's when you talk. That's when you bring up that topic for discussion. Right? I will give you quite a few topics to discuss. Okay, if we are operating a website and selling to customer directly via the website, okay, I will be asking you, what are the other sales channels we could make use of? Can't we have our own brick and mortar store? Can't we have a distribution channel where we sell to distributors who in turn will sell it to the shops? Can't we do a direct deal approach where we sell directly to the end shop and shop sells it to the customer? Right? Can't we partner up with popular retail websites, sell our goods, list our goods in Amazon, list our goods in Daras? Can't we do that? So that's going to be my way, my view on it, my practical view on it, my points of discussion for it. Right? Okay, if the company is using a traditional costing system, absorption costing system, I will ask you, okay, why can't we change this to an activity based costing system? What are the implications of the to the business when switching from absorption to activity based costing? So you have to tell me, it's going to increase product costing accuracy, it's going to minimize any undercosting, overcosting of products, because we allocate costs based on the actual resource consumption rather than arbitrary overhead allocations. Rather than arbitrary overhead allocations. You're going to tell me it's going to help us more with pricing decisions. Our pricing is going to be consistent because we know the actual accurate cost. We know what profit we need to make. Our pricing sales strategy will be sound. Right? So those are the things we have to discuss. I'm just giving you some examples what we are going to use in discussing, in analyzing this case study. Right? Okay, I might ask you, okay, if they are selling it via a website, what further improvements can I do to this website to make the customer experience seamless, to make the experience better? That's when your knowledge of KYI comes into play. So in KYI, definitely we will have a company that is operating in the real world. If you had gone to that company's website, gone to that company's e-commerce platform, followed the social media pages of that company, you should be able to easily answer this question. Okay, you have to tell, look here, we need to have a app which facilitates desktop and mobile usage both. Nowadays, people are on the mobile, on the tabs, on their move. So it has to facilitate everything. Any device, it has to be working. User interface has to be user friendly, right? Then you have to say the procedures, the customer experience, the customer checkout beat, whatever the process, the customer checkout process, picking the good and adding it into the cart or removing it from the cart, it has to be seamless. There can't be any, after you add to the cart and you press back, it will be showing 404 page not found. It can't happen. It has to go to the previous page, remove that item from the basket. It has to be a seamless experience. User interface have being a seamless experience is critical, especially for today's sophisticated customers who are operating from a wide demographic range. Even a 12-year, 10-year, 9-year, 7-year, 5-year-old kid would now take the mobile phone, order what they want to eat. Right? So we are living in such an environment, such a dynamic business environment. So our product, depending on the product, so still we don't know what the product is. It has to offer that seamless experience to whatever the customer group that is going to log in, that is going to purchase our product, that is in customer group who is interested in our product, right? So then again, the finance manager might say, look here, there is a fire that has happened in the warehouse. What should I do to this in the financial statements? So you go back, refresh and see, okay, what is the relevant standard? Okay, IAS 10, events after the reporting period. So you ask the question, is it an adjusting event? Is it a non-adjusting event? Was there substantial evidence that this fire existed at the reporting date? Of course, no. Fires, they occur instantly. They don't give you warnings, no. You don't get any signals regarding fire, right? So therefore, you will not adjust it. You ignore it. You take it to the next financial year. Likewise, it's going to be a very, thorough, comprehensive discussion covering all elements of the pre-sale. So I've been talking for about 30 minutes now. So are we clear up to this point? Do you all have any clarifications? Any things to be taken up for discussion? Any clarifications? Can I have a quick heads up from all of you? So let's interact. Are we all clear? Did you all understand what I've been talking so far? Have you got a good insight about how the course is going to get structured? Good, very good. Of course, it will be interesting, right? Given that, remember, I always encourage two-way communications, right? If it's one way, it's never going to be interesting. I want insights from you guys, right? Your background, your environment will be different to mine, right? So therefore, you might see from a point of view which I don't see. Okay, I will say, look here, why are they only selling via website? Can't they do this sales channel? Can't they go direct to the dealer? Can't they go direct to a distributor and sell it to the customer? You might say, no, how can they do that? This is a very, a product with a very short useful life. By the time you sell it to a distributor sells it to a shop sells it to the dealer, product useful life is gone. You can argue. So the best way is to sell us directly via our website. Of course, challenge, yes, it could be a challenge, but it's all about how you address the challenge. It's all about how you address the challenge, right? Challenges come and go, right? It's all about how you address it. So that's why myself, our team, everybody is there to help you out. So don't, there's nothing to be, I would say, worried per se regarding the case study. I know this is going to be most of your first case study. So we tell you from ABC how you answer, what is going to be your answering structure, how do you identify the exam requirement from the unseen given to you at the exam, right? How do you understand the question and address that specific question only? You don't go round about it, right? You address only the specific question, because examiner doesn't have time to read each and every word, right? He will say, okay, look, he knows the question. He will look at the key points which you have addressed, see if the main points are there. If yes, you get your full marks. And if you have industry related stuff, superb. It's going to make your answer stand out. It's going to differentiate your answer. It's going to make your answer unique to that of the others. So I always encourage is, from mock 3, 4, 5, we will start practicing that. But I always encourage is to come up with industry examples, to come up with real world jargon. Trust me, examiner is not going to verify each and every industry example you say. So I'm not worried about whether you say the truth or not, as long as there is some sense in it. You can't say anything totally out and expect the examiner to give you marks. No. If you have sense in what you are talking, if that is related to the question the examiner has asked, might as well go ahead. The examiner is not going to verify your statistics. He is not going to verify your whatever the facts and figures you presented, as long as they are of sense, as long as they make sense. So I always encourage that from mock 3 onwards, let's start practicing, right? Where everybody comes up with somewhere in the mock something related to the industry. So for that, you need to have a thorough knowledge on the industry of the company operating in. What are the challenges in the industry? It could be sustainability, it could be sourcing raw materials, it could be getting in labor because of the high cost. What are the trends in the industry? Using more digitalized techniques, using more big data in data analysis, using data visualizations, right? What are those are the trends, right? Then what are the biggest drivers of demand in the industry? If you are manufacturing beds, what is driving the demand of beds in the industry, right? If you are manufacturing food, what is driving demand, right? The demand drivers, you will understand. Then most importantly, the competition. Who are your competitors, right? And also your market orientation. Are you a cost leader? Are you a differentiator? Are you a focused person, a focused cost leader, or a focused differentiator? Right? So based on that, that will be a starting point. From there onwards, we'll be stemming down to identify, to analyze our competition. Where do we stand in terms of the competition? What is our market share? How can we take this market share up? What are the activities we need to do to improve our brand image? Maybe we could do some CSR. Maybe if we are selling food, we do a food festival, right? You sponsor a major government event, right? You partner up with hotels, right? You take a brand ambassador who is a famous chef in the country or in the world, and then you brand him so that he takes the brand to his fans. Remember, influencer marketing these days are, I mean, it's very influential and it's very successful, right? So influential marketing is going to have a huge impact on your brand these days. And also, in addition to that, how you manage your social media. It could be Facebook to Instagram to TikTok to LinkedIn to whatnot, you name it. You know better than me on the social media side of it, right? So how you manage your social media strategy, what is your take on the social media strategy? So all of these are going to be very interesting when we relate them to the case study we are learning. When we relate them to the case study we are learning. Then of course, marketing. What are the marketing techniques we have? Are we a traditional uh, are we a company following traditional marketing practices, doing those TV ads to newspaper ads to whatnot? Are we doing AR marketing, augmented reality marketing, right? Are we making proper use of digital marketing? Do we have search engine optimizations? Okay, if you are a food manufacturer, if you type okay food to eat or whatever, your brand comes on top, right? So these are going to be very interesting topics, right? So from the case pre-scene you get, we take area by area for discussion and go into detail. That will be our pre-scene analysis. That will be our pre-scene analysis, right? So this is a quick snapshot, a quick overview of what our course is going to be like, of what our course is going to be like. So remember the breakdown and how we are going to address it, the subject composition, and the how our course is going to get structured. How our course is going to get structured, right? So any questions to this point? Any questions up to this point? Is everyone clear on the points which I have taken up for discussion today? What about the others? Is everybody clear? Any questions, any clarifications or concerns you guys may have? You can raise it up. Good. So if I talk a little bit about the paper, right? Your examination. your examination will be structured into 4 sections. It will be structured into 4 sections. Ideally, 45 minutes per section. Ideally, 45 minutes per section. You will have a minimum of minimum of two tasks. You will have a maximum of 3 to 4 tasks. Very rare you get 4. Maximum is most cases it's 3 tasks. What do I mean by tasks? So in each section you will have 3 questions to address. 3 or 2 questions. Right? Question 1, question 2, question 3. So section 2, let's say it have 2 questions. Question 1, question 2. So here 2 tasks. Here 3 tasks. Likewise, you will have a breakup. So what is your total time? 3 hours. So even though I say 45 minutes here, it's not practical, right? What I always say is have the target as 40 minutes per section. So what do you do in this 40 minutes? So here in your exam, it will wait. Okay, question 1 carries 55% of the marks. Question 2 carries 45% of the marks. Then of course, okay, out of the 40 minutes, right, I leave 10 minutes for reading, 5 to 10 minutes for reading, planning the answer. I have 30 minutes. Left. So maybe I will allocate 18 minutes and 12 minutes. Right? So likewise, we need to have a proper timing plan. Otherwise, we have all these things to write. All what you're learning over the course of 8 weeks, you're going to write in 3 hours. You're going to write in 180 minutes, which is I would say not difficult, not complicated. It's very simple given that you practice, given that you know how to manage your time. So how do you get that? How do you get the practice? How do you get to know how to manage your time? What's going to guide that? What's going to guide you towards that? You doing your mocks. Simple as that. You doing your mocks on time, doing them properly with the intention of continuous improvement. Right? So likewise, depending on the question being asked, depending on how many tasks you have for the particular section, you will have to segregate your time and manage time. So you have 14 to 3, 14 to 4 will be 160 minutes. So always try to finish your exam within 160 minutes. Right? And remember, let's say this is 45. You finish this in 30. This 15 minutes won't be carried forward to the section 2. That 15 minutes is lost. So try your level best to maximize or optimize the use of time. Right? Because you can't carry forward time. You finish one section early doesn't mean you can carry forward that time to the next one. No, time is done. Next one will be another fresh 45 minutes. If you finish 10 minutes in advance, the next section is not going to be 55 minutes. It's still going to be 45. The 10 minutes is lost. So don't let that happen. Optimize your time. See, if you have finished early, see what else can you add? How else can you improve the content of your answer? Can you bring in industry examples? Right? Can you bring in theoretical, any theory related statements? Can you bring in some industry facts and figures? Always you ask the question from yourself. So remember, it's all about what? Optimizing your time. It's all about optimizing your time. So don't worry. You will get used to it. Once you do 3-4 mocks, you will be automatically used to this method. So that's why I always say attempting mocks is critical. I see a lot of students doing 3 to 4, sometimes maximum 3-4 mocks and attempting the exam and failing, while others doing 6-7 mocks and passing. So the result is evident. No? The more you practice, the more you are, the probability of you passing is high. The lesser you practice, the lesser you focus, the lesser you commit, probability of you passing is, I don't know, maybe it could be a minus, right? So therefore, probability of you passing has to be always high. How can you make that high? Practice, practice, practice. How can you practice? Use our mocks. So I will give you a timeline every week. Look here, by this Wednesday you have to complete one. By Sunday you have to complete mock 2. By next week Wednesday complete mock 3. So we have to stick to those timelines. Otherwise, if you skip those timelines, towards the end of the exam you will have about 5 mocks to complete with about 3 days to the exam. That's not going to work. So we have I will always give you a mock plan, a mock timeline, right? We have to stick to it, finish it, review it, do the one-to-one, close it, so that you have enough time closer to the exam to go back to that mock, review your learnings, and learn any new things and apply them as you get closer to the exam, right? So sticking to that mock time frame is very critical. Not only attempting it, but sticking to the time frame. After starting the session from next week, 2 weeks down the line, I will assign mock number 2 to you. You have to do it within the assigned time frame. Then only you can do mock 3, 4, 5 very smoothly without piling them up towards the closer to the exam date. Don't let that happen. I've seen many students doing that and failing, because ultimately they are overloaded. They don't have time. They don't know what to do, right? So start from day one itself. Have a commitment to that you will be sticking to the timelines given to complete the mocks. Because I am repeating, the mocks you do is going to define your destiny, is going to define whether you pass or not. So better as well, do it, right? Learn from it, review it, and continuously improve. Do it, learn, review, continuously improve. Right? That's the objective of we doing mocks. Right? So first we do it within the relevant time frame, right? Then what do? You do it, you learn from the mistakes, then you review them. Okay, how what can I do better? And then from the next mock you have to continuously improve. Right? Continuously improve. So this has to be your strategy, right? This has to be your strategy in mock writing, right? Strategy in mock writing. It's very critical, right? So this will define whether you get a P or a F in your exam. So I want all P's. So let's not even think about any F's, right? So do your work as assigned, right? So start work from now itself. You don't need the pre-Z. Start revising your refresh theory, E1, F1, P1. If you need any documents, contact me. I will get them down to you, right? We have refresh theory documents separately for E1, P1, and F1. Start it now itself. Give more focus on P1, then the same focus on F1 and E1 as well. Because I told you, this is a 70-30 game. 70 on theory, 30 on applications, right? So it's very critical you are thorough with the theory. I mean, nowadays you don't have to wait until I teach you. You have enough of resources from Google to YouTube to whatnot, you name it, right? So start from now itself, right? Good question. What do you mean by mock? Right? What do you mean by mock? Mock is a I would say a replica, right? A replica, or it is an exam simulation. Simply, you will be doing the exam 8 times before you do the real exam. You will be doing a Tiran, you will be doing a simulation, a similar exam 8 times. If you do 8 mocks, you will be doing the exam 8 times before your final real exam. It is the same as your exam. We are doing to practice. So that we cover all the theory aspects. Tiran, did I make that clear to you? Tiran, did I make that clear to you? So let me show you a sample of a mock. So this is how your mock will look like. So you will have the name of your company. This was for the last session. So you will have mock paper 1. So you have 4 sections, I told you. You will have 4 sections. Section number 1. You receive the following email. We are having a board meeting to discuss. I want your response within the next 45 minutes. So you need to read this content. We call this the unseen, which you see at the exam date. What you get next Friday is the pre-seen, the company related information. So what you see at the exam is called the unseen. So you get some details and you have been asked 4 questions here. Now you need to address those 4 questions. This is a standard mock paper. So any reference materials which you need for additional reference are also there. So at the exam, when you click on this reference material, you get the reference materials. And so likewise, it's very comprehensive. It will cover quite a lot of areas, possible areas that could be tested in the exam. Tiran, did I make it clear? Refresh theory courses. Good question. It would start maybe starting from the second week. Zahid, it would start somewhere around the second week. I hope you're comfortable with it. So when you do mock number 2, you will not have a lot of theory. So that's why I'm saying you to start now. Don't wait until we start. You start it on your own. So whatever the concerns, huge problems, the doubts you get, you can ask us when we are doing the refresher. So that's not a problem. So start now. Start now. It's not, I mean, the earlier you start, it's you who will be comfortable. You will have more confidence as we get closer to the exam. Right? So we will have spent about 2 sessions each for E1, F1 and P1 to quickly run through the main theory areas tested in the exam. So that you should not depend on that. Right? If you depend on refresh theory, it will be difficult. So that's why I said start now. Revise whatever the areas available. If there are new areas, Google them, go to YouTube, learn about that. So when I teach you, you will understand it better. So that's the whole purpose of me telling you, right? Whole purpose of me telling you to start your refresh theory now itself. Right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover for today. So we've been intact for about an hour or so. So any other questions from the rest of you? What about Akila? What about Amila, Chaturi, Fazil, Sampath, Navo? Any questions? Any things to be clarified from your end? All good? So if you are clear, you can say that you are clear, that you understood on the plan, you know what's going to be done. Great, super. So remember, it's going to be a very interesting 9 weeks, 8 to 9 weeks. They are going to interact quite highly. Otherwise, it's going to be boring for you and me both. So there will be a good follow-up from our end as well with our backend team, who we will try to assign a particular academic tutor so that you will be followed up with your work. You do your mocks on time, you review them properly, complete them and submit on time. You learn, you grow from mock to mock. Sessions are not going to be long. Maximum it would be 2.5 hours, right? Your sessions would be a maximum of 2.5 hours. We can take a break in the middle as well if you want, right? It will be 2.5 hours at max, because case study, it's all about you, right? So to start off, we will have only once a week for about 5 weeks. For about 5 weeks, we will have classes for about once a week, 4 to 5 weeks. Then for the last 3 to 4 weeks, we might meet 2 sessions per week. We might meet 2 sessions per week. So the weekend session, the Sunday time. Weekday, towards the latter part of the day, maybe we can schedule on. We normally have 8:30, 10:30 p.m. Sri Lankan time. So anybody joining internationally, you can suggest what is going to be a feasible time. So let's look at a feasible time to all of you and schedule a class. That's not a problem. So as I told you, it's going to be a two-way communication, two-way discussion uh, session. So I don't want few people missing out, few people only joining. No, let's discuss, coming to agree on a consensus, right? And see what could be done, and see what could be done, right? Yeah, we have about 8 weeks, right? So shouldn't be a problem at all. Shouldn't be a problem at all. It's more than enough, right? So any other questions? So I'm hoping to see all of you in class on next Sunday, right? So once you get registered, you will be added to our exams. It's online exam. Either you can do it at home, or you can do it at the exam center. Exam is anyway online. You'll have to do it on your laptop, on your computer, right? Either you can do it at home or do it at the center. I always say is, go to the center, go to the exam center. There you are better off. If any issue happens, invigilators are there, supervisors are there. They are seeing it physically and they will sort it for you. But if you're at home, technical issues happen, nobody's there to help you out, right? And they are not going to accept even the slightest of the evidence you give. So might as well don't take any chances. Book your exam at the center, not at home, right? Book your exam at the centers. Yeah, 25th Sunday we will be starting. So Sampath, what is your working time on Sunday? What is your working time on Sunday? And also, mind you, anyone joining internationally, remember we have regular power cuts in Sri Lanka, right? Due to whatever the reason. So we will be informing you in advance if there is a change in schedule. So always follow the WhatsApp, Telegram groups. Those groups will be up to date regarding the session timelines and the session dates. Regarding the session timelines and the session dates. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Right? So Sampath, if you could update me, what is your working time on Sunday? Others, no questions? 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Oh, okay, so we are doing at 6:30. You have a half an hour break, right? You have a good half an hour break, right? And you can get pumped up for the OCS case study discussion, right? Don't worry, 6:30 will be going. Maximum would be 9. Normally I finish at 8:30 or sometimes 9. Sri Lanka time 8:30. That's a problem. So Sampath, where are you based in? Where are you based in? Okay, those who are joining internationally, if you could quickly drop in with your time zones and your country, so that I could consider all of these when scheduling the sessions. Fazil from UK, good. Sampath from Saudi. Others? Anyone else? Navo, are you? We had anyone else joining internationally, so that I know where you join from, and I can consider when scheduling sessions that we don't clash. That I give you the full. I try to give my best in scheduling the session so that you can join the live session. Of course, you will have access to the recordings. That's a different story. But I always encourage to join the live sessions, without which it will be difficult. I mean, you can clarify things then and there. You can enter the discussion. You can ask your doubts, right? So I know. Friday and Saturday is a holiday. Yeah, yeah. So Saturday also we'll see. We should be able to schedule a few sessions. Not a problem. Not a problem. Anyone else joining internationally? So first session, Sampath, we will have on Sunday, our scheduled time. From there onwards, let me see what we could do. I'll have a chat with the admin team as well, so that it's that everyone is inclusive when deciding the time, right? Everybody is inclusive when deciding the time. So after registrations are completed, we'll have a discussion on it, and keep you guys posted on the action plan on what we are going to do to eliminate those timing differences, right? So we'll try our level best to sort it out for you. Others? Great. So I hope you guys got something out of today's session. So thank you very much for joining. So with the intention of seeing you all in class on Sunday, that is next Sunday, 25th, if I'm not mistaken. So 23rd, your pre-zine will be out. I will be sharing it on the respective groups. So with that in mind, signing off. Thank you very much. And I'm hoping to see you in class on the 25th. Thanks for joining. Thank you very much, guys. You're welcome. So let me share my contacts. So I'm on WhatsApp on this number. So if you have any concerns, anything to be clarified, you can always reach out. Let's discuss and let's resolve, so that we have an inclusive environment that's conducive for you to do your exams comfortably and pass them. Right? So guys, signing off. Thank you very much. Good night and have a great week ahead. You receive it on the 23rd, my dear. You will receive your case study on the 23rd, which is next Friday. Anyway, as soon as we receive it, we will share it with you. Don't worry. Right? You're welcome.